Here we go. Mr. Wiggles here in Brisbane, Australia. Coming here to try to answer the question that's been going all over the internet. I'm sure everybody's been pounding their heads trying to figure out who are these robots. Brothers just came out of the blue, and whether you love them or hate them, you pretty much, if you're on the internet, you're probably still talking about them. Good or bad, you're talking about them. And here they are. Please introduce yourselves, brothers.
Name's Chuck, old school boy.
Sharu, not so old school boy.
Chris. Bryce, I'm all their students.
So, the clip is getting a lot of attention right now, and they've been getting major hits on YouTube. But what's cool is they're getting a lot of inside props from a lot of very well-known dancers, which I'll let them explain. But it all starts with somebody, and this one particular person has been dancing for quite a long time. So I'm going to introduce you to Brother Chuck right here. What part of Australia are you originally from?
I'm actually from Brisbane here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when did you start?
1980, 30 years ago.
Brother goes back. Now I heard that Poppin' Pete saw you recently dance, and he was pretty surprised to see you get down like that.
Yeah, well, he asked me to do a few moves, so yeah, I busted a few moves.
So how did it all come about in Brisbane, in hip hop and popping, and predominantly popping and all that?
It actually started in Sydney. Actually had it a year before we did, and we actually just saw things on TV and so forth, and yeah, we just started. It's just something I saw on TV, and I thought, wow, I like that. I wish I could do that, and yeah, I've been doing it ever since. So yeah.
So you're pretty much the OG out here, huh?
Yeah, one of the originals. Yeah.
Name a couple of, give a name drop to a couple of cats that you think need some props and respect.
A couple of brothers of mine, Chucko, Tynan. They were the next ones next to me, and they're both deceased.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, God bless their souls. And Charlie, he's from Thailand, and Charlie actually came from a very hard life in Thailand.
Props to Brother Chuck in the house. Now we got my man right here, Sheru the Damager.
His name, not mine.
What's up, Sheru? How'd you get into popping?
I got into popping. I was actually shown. I was sent an email. I used to be in kind of IT. I used to design, menus, wine lists and stuff for a wine company. And then I just got sent this email. Had an attachment of this guy who did like the liquid style, LP Eric, and he just did his thing in an arcade. And I thought that looked cool. I thought, I'll just try it a little bit. And then eventually went into King George Square, which is like basically the center of Brisbane. And there was a dance event, and I actually saw this guy. And yeah, after that I heard about the studio, went to the studio, and it ended up being Chuck teaching. So Chuck was my first teacher, and went from there.
So LPC Eric, for those that don't know, Liquid Pop Collective. I think these particular cats from the East Coast are responsible for a lot of things. They definitely influenced the digit style, which in my opinion also influenced finger tutting. So you were up on the LPC crew?
Originally, yeah. Before I even knew about popping, I kind of got into liquid.
Cool.
And then I was kind of mucking around with it for a few months before I met Chuck. And then Chuck kind of introduced me to popping. And then Chuck and another teacher of mine, Penny, from Korea. I learned the animation, the robot from Chuck, learned the boogaloo and the locking from Penny. So kind of started to learn a bit of an overall popping, locking sort of foundation.
So tell us about the group.
Well, this kind of actually came by chance. We had, it was very, very pre-planned, and it was very, very rushed to get it out in time. We saw what, John Chu was doing with DLXD, and then we saw one of his clips where he was saying basically, we're inviting you to make a clip of your own and show us what you got. So we had a look on YouTube at what other people were doing, and there's 1,000,001 clips of people auditioning by setting up a camera in their lounge room or in their bedroom and going, hey, this is me, check out what I got. Play, stop, thanks, hear from you soon. And we thought, well, how are we going to be different? And then it was actually before that, Bryce actually sparked the idea. Bryce heard about it first and he sparked the idea, and then we kind of built on it from there. I sat down and we we discussed this idea about putting this clip together. We started storyboarding. We started figuring out each of our characters, the sounds we would each have, contacting production companies, budgets, the whole shebang. And then kind of within about 2 months, it went from nothing to being a completed project.
Wow. It's an amazing piece of footage there. And it starts off with an amazing batter. I mean, this guy comes in and he actually starts with Brother Chuck, who's also equally amazing, introducing his young students, which it's cool how everyone connects it right back to the OG. And I always say you always got to prop your local OGs as well as your global OGs. And then one of Chuck's students is Brother Chris. I mean, he embodies the whole concept of Terminator and RoboCop all in one. And how did you get started? I pretty much know where it's going to point to, but shout him out.
It all comes back to Chuck. Basically, he's the guy who started all of us. Can't give him enough props, really. First off, started with me. I saw actually, well, to be honest, started with Wiggles. Saw a clip of Wiggles and Pete, and I thought that is the be all end all. I want to do that, and so I actually looked up classes, and there was just nothing anywhere. So I thought it must just be a sort of do at home thing, and started by myself. And then I actually met a girl I used to do capoeira martial arts with, and she took me along to a class, and it was Chuck was the teacher. And then I actually saw Chuck at King George Square. So we were actually in the same place, me and Drew in the same place at the same time.
He was 2 years earlier.
Yeah, 2 years earlier. And so I saw Chuck, and I thought, who is this guy doing stuff I never thought would come from Chuck? You would never think it. And there it was. And I went to the classes with Chuck time and time again, and started jamming with Chuck outside of that. And then we sort of lost touch for a while. Then I met Sharu, like a big circle, met Sharu in a nightclub, and we battled. And then he said, I do classes with this guy out at Morningside. So I went out to Morningside. The guy teaching the class was Chuck. So it just kept coming back. So, and then here we are today.
Wow. How do you describe your style?
I think I try to keep it as realistic as I can. Like, try to do what an actual robot would do. Try to minimize the more mannequin and small movements. I try to do the big, heavy, sort of effectual type robot, and keep it as actually looking like not human, more towards the actual mechanical side. So.
We got the final cap right here, and introducing the young buck of the crew, the baby boy, baby boy Bryce, with the white suit, looking clean. You'll see him on the video soon. I know what you're gonna say. How did you start?
Well, actually, I was at school, and I was talking to my mate, who's a b-boy, and we were in art class, and he just brought up dancing, and I was just like, oh, I really want to learn how to dance, but I'm just thinking, this lanky white dude, I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to be a dancer. And he told me, it's like, no, try. I'm doing popping and locking classes. I reckon you'd be good at popping. And it's like, I've heard of popping before somewhere. I'd actually seen it. The first time I saw popping was playing a Tony Hawk's game. They've got John Elsewhere like animated into a busker, and like you're paying money in the game, and he does what he does on the clip.
You mean David Elsewhere?
Who did I say?
John.
Bloody John is in my head. David Elsewhere. I think it's John. Dave Elsewhere. And so I went along, tried it out. Really loved popping. Hated locking because I had no funk. Still have no funk. But it pretty much just went from there. I didn't meet Chuck till like a couple years into my popping, really. I stuck to the robotic style with these two teaching me, and I just heard stories about Chuck, and I was like, I'm gonna meet this Chuck dude. Saw him, I was just like, the stories are true. Unexpected, and he's sick. These guys has taken me under their wings and
yeah,
Cool.
going from there.
Describe your approach.
I don't know. I try and learn everything I can. Like with my robot, when we're thinking of what to do for the clip, for instance, like it took a while because these guys had their set styles, but with me, because I sort of try and do everything. So yeah, I don't know. I've sort of adopted the more controlled style. I think I'm going with that a bit. The really controlled sort of stuff, with a hint of sort of the hard out robot and waving and ticking and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I try and be a bit of an all rounder. Just still new to it, so yeah, trying to develop my style still.
Who's some of your favorite botters out there right now?
I like Robert Shields. I got the name right. I was about to say David Shields. Need sleep.
He's nervous.
We've also got paint fumes hitting us.
Yeah.
Wiggles is painting, y'all.
Yeah.
How about you, Chuck? Who's some of your favorite robots out there?
Well, actually, my inspiration actually came from an old French mime artist, Marcel Masson,
All right.
and that's where I got all of my mime from.
Botters that I look up to at the moment, I guess, there's Robert Shields, definitely, Shields and Yarnell. You got, of course, you got Chad, you got Pop and Todd, Mechanical Man. I mean, there's all people I've looked at over the last few years as well.
And
Chuck?
You're also the popper boogaloo of the crew, too, so you apply a lot of popping, boogaloo, and waving. I thought it was cool in the clip that everybody hit some hardcore botting, and then you came in with some great botting, and then you threw those arm waves that look kind of like somebody cut a cord and the electricity of the cord just flew out of it was just real beautifully done. Chris, your favorite botters out there right now?
Well, I'd have to say some of the people I really look up to, I suppose, Prince, Midnight, awesome, Dre, Chad obviously is the man on the scene at the moment, so
Chad's amazing.
yeah, his dome stop style is pristine. There's lots of, I suppose, upcoming people at the moment. Yeah, just everybody, I suppose. Just look at what everyone's doing. Look at what the differences are between everybody. So if you look at all the botters around at the moment, it's just basically an open field. So everyone is doing something different to the next person. So
Where do you see the group going?
don't know. Hard question. Good question.
Goals, guys? Goals? What kind of, you guys want to...
Goals is one of those things, like 3 months ago, none of this was even in process. We hadn't even begun to think about it. So in terms of goals, I think we've just finished kind of getting the idea out of our head that we've done this clip. Now it's kind of just, well, it's out there. What now? I think we're still trying to find our footing as to where we want to go with it as well. There's so many options out there. We're getting an amazing response.
What about you, Chuck? Where do you see everything going right now with the group?
Hopefully, like I want to look out for the boys myself.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, I hope all this does actually take them somewhere. And give them a
freaking
good
OG
future.
right here. You heard that, people? He's saying like he's fathering these young cats and guiding them and taking them on a trip. Like he's want to make sure that they get theirs. He didn't even mention himself. That's real. Well, there's a million questions people are gonna have for them. They got an incredible website right now they're building. It's called
Whoaretheserobots.com.
Whoaretheserobots.com.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys got a lot of questions for these cats. They're young up-and-comers and with a triple OG right here. And I think it's important that people recognize when people come in to change the game, you got to respect the fact that the game's about to be changed and you got to jump on or jump off. So right now the botting game is on a whole nother level, so it's up to y'all. But props to you brothers, man. Thank you for the time out. I got a million questions, but I'm thinking let's save it for the website. Hit up the website, get them some questions. Find out what they're up to. I think they got a lot more going on than they saying right now, so be on the lookout, all right? The Almighty Supreme, Zulu, B-Boy from the BX, cut. Dope. Thank you, brother. That was great. That was hot.
Cheers, man.
That was dope. Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to see you guys do big things.